Hi everyone, I'm Gary. Welcome back to the channel. And make sure you go and hit that subscribe button to Return of the Nerd. Right, I'm going to start with something positive. Landspeeder Luke, thank you very much. He is actually present at the San Diego Comicon, and he made a video. It's already up on his channel of day one. He takes everybody on a grand tour of all the different Star Wars booths. I mean, not just Hasbro. He's got Sideshow, Bandai, Hot Toys, you name it. He's covered everything, so it looks pretty exciting. I've never ever been to a convention. I have Tourette syndrome, so I choose not to go to like really noisy, super crowded places. Yeah.
Ball sweat! Anus liquor!
So thank you for that. That's really interesting. And because I'm in Asia, I know that like I'm ahead of everyone. Like I'm future man. But actually, if there's an event being held in North America or Europe, then all of a sudden, like everybody in Asia is catapulted into the past, and we don't know what's going on. So we wake up the next day and go, oh, what happened? It's day two. So day two is the day where they have the live panel. And I know that he's going to make another video on that, so I can't wait. So like, this is what's happened. So he took a picture of Ned B, the Hasbro display. It's the Black Series, and now we've got all this new plastic-free packaging. He put it on his Instagram, and immediately that was shared like all over the place. The whole internet was on fire now. People talking about it's a very contentious issue, like especially with Black Series collectors, with the inbox crowd. They are not happy at all. So Hasbro have decided to keep the murals on the sides of the boxes, but they've done away with the windows, right? Which I think is going to create havoc. From my point of view, it's a huge benefit to me. It's a massive. You're going to drive those worried, scared, uncertain inbox collectors straight into my arms. All right, because this is what I have been doing ever since I set up my SOP. You remember this one? Okay, it came in the shipper box. This was the mortar trooper, or sorry, the artillery stormtrooper, right? So what I used to do with this is I would make a video, and then I would say to the customer, do you want me to open it, or do you want it untouched? 9 times out of 10, the customer will say, please open it. I really don't mind. If you could just open it up and check that everything's like as it should be, and that's okay with me. So this is what I plan to do. When we switch to the new boxes, I'm just going to continue that same service to everybody. And I know it's very labor intensive, but I think that is the right thing to do. So, there are many issues here. Recently, we had a bunch of figures with like wonky helmets. I'll give you an example of one here. The 13th Battalion, the GameStop figure. Right, so I held this one up to my girlfriend, who's also my business partner, and I said, you're an inbox collector, you see this, what's your first impression? And she said, reject. Why? Because his head is like this. So a lot of the times when we open the cases from Hasbro, we will see that heads have been put into, the inner casing, the plastic on the inside of the box. And that's kind of just nothing you can do. It's the factory. And the heads are turned this way, or they're just kind of And another good example was the new Bracker Cad Bane, his cowboy hat. Sometimes he would arrive and his hat had been twisted and it was like this, at a really steep angle, or sometimes it just went straight down and covered half of his face. And of course, I'm not going to sell that to an inbox collector. Someone who wants to put that on display will not buy that from a retailer. So I'm always very happy to like go through the cases, and I'll pick them out and I'll go, okay, this one looks fine. Let's check the eyes, not cross-eyed or anything. And they'll check the paint apps on helmets. Sometimes, with the Mandalorian helmets, recently with Boba Fett, there was a little bit of bleeding of the colors. So these little things, I know they might sound picky and fussy and stupid to other people, but you are other people. But to an inbox collector who is very passionate about this, and this is like their thing, then that's very normal for them. That's standard. I'm going to quickly read the press release that was given to us by Hasbro, and I think it kind of stinks, all right? And so it goes like this. Our goal does not include packaging for fan collectible products like 3.75 action figures, where packaging is part of the product experience. So for the last 3-4 years, I haven't been a collector, and the packaging is not part of my experience. Wait, let me just look behind me. Huh, weird. Okay, and then it says, so they're going to retain the bubbles on the windows for lines such as the Vintage Collection and the Retro Collection. What a surprise. As well as other collectible brands such as Marvel Retro and the G.I. Joe Retro. So, I know, I'm stupid. I thought that these Black Series figures were for adults, but actually, now I'm confused. So, you're telling me that this is not an adult collectible, and it's not to be, and you've never seen people display them? Are you kidding me?
Shit! Shit hard!
Hey, let's put the top up. I'll put on the air conditioning.
So from an environmentally friendly point of view, you will find like absolutely nobody who will argue with you, Hasbro. Everybody agrees that we need to reduce the amount of plastic, that we use in our products, and we need to do better with recycling and all the rest of it. But when you say that this line can have the packaging and the windows, and this line cannot, and then you put out a press release like that, you're going to lose a lot of damn respect from the collectors.
I say to all of you, I have been treated this day with no respect.
So now that kind of makes me move on to my next topic. There's a little segue there that's like, what's this? Okay, well, what is this? That's a bubble, that's a card back. The Lucasfilm, the 50th anniversary, that was last year. We had a whole bunch of these. What happens to them? So, do we still get them? Because it's a bubble, and you said bubbles are okay. How about this one? George Lucas. So, we're not getting any more of these. So what happens to exclusives? Just no windows. And what happens to the deluxe? Recently we've had price hikes on all of the Black Series figures, and especially with the new deluxe ones like Dark Trooper, Saw Gerrera. So those packages are already very wide. They have a window. Now you're going to take the window away. Is it still going to be wide? How do we know it's a deluxe? Because it's just going to be a bigger box. Okay, let's go on to something a little bit more positive. So, like with what I've seen so far at the SDCC, the Hasbro display cases, everything looks really wicked. You've got all the Kenobi figures on display. We've even got a lot of the new Andor figures. And it's kind of surprising because usually, Hasbro will keep that under wraps for a while and wait until we get way closer to episode 1. I hope that we can continue the tradition of having the, like before we had Kenobi Wednesday, and we'd watch an episode and then we'd go, yeah, and we'd go check out Yak Face, and there'd be all these new cool images, and we'd all go, so I want to keep doing that. I know the fans really are into that kind of thing, and so if you could do like it's Bad Batch Friday, or it's an Andor Tuesday, and then you drop a bunch of new images, that will really, really hold people's attention and make those figures so attractive. The new Andor, the exclusive one, at first when I saw the image, I think it was just like a 3D rendered image, didn't look that good. But then when I saw it on the video, close up, and it had been taken out of the box, I was like, okay, that is really nice. And just today, I just checked my wholesalers list, and I can actually pre-order him right now.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
As for the Boba Fett, yeah, I like the packaging, I like the idea, the concept that it came from the comic book story, but for the figure itself, it just looks like Boba fell into a bucket of black ink, and the price is like 38, 39 US bucks, come on, man. So if that does appear on any of my suppliers' lists, I don't think I can really sell that just out of moral, out of principle. In my mind, the best looking figure that I saw so far is the Darth Maul. Now, I know we've seen him before. He was mentioned on one of the Hasbro Pulse live streams. This guy is so popular, and this figure is going to be the #1, the hottest selling Black Series figure of this year. I guarantee it. Okay, let's move on and talk about the vintage collection a little bit. So we got an image, a guy who had, like, I don't even know what figure it was, but he turned it around, and on the back of the card back, you know, where they show you collect them all and you get the rest in the line. We had some new images, and some of them I think are unknown characters from the Andor show. So we had the Andor himself, but there's also another one, a female character, Vel Sartha. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Now, is she from the expanded universe? Is she perhaps from one of the video games? Or could be from the upcoming Andor TV show, so that's pretty exciting. At the San Diego Comicon, there are a couple of display cabinets which have like the big like dioramas. Bib Fortuna, he's in the throne. It's Jabba's palace, that one. God, I'm crazy about that one. And then also recently we saw the rescue set. You know, it's on the light cruiser, Moff Gideon's light cruiser. You've got the detention center with Grogu. He's in the cuffs, and then in the other scene, like you've got the corridor scene. Din Djarin is fighting a battle with the Dark Trooper. You've got all these little extra FX like the flames, and you've got the Beskar spear and stuff. Very, very good. I really, really like it. The future looks very bright for the 3.75 collectors, and they will just be a massive sigh of relief, you know, because a lot of collectors were so fearful that Hasbro were going to do away with the card backs and the bubbles, and obviously that will completely and utterly kill the line. But at the same time, there are dark times ahead for Black Series action figure collectors. Okay, lastly, on a positive note, coming back to Yakface again, on his Instagram, I did notice that he had shared a picture of Starkiller, and I was like, huh? And then I kind of read into it, and I was like, ooh, so does that mean he's going to be coming out in one of the upcoming waves for the Black Series? Because if the answer is yes, there's going to be a lot of happy people out there. Right, go check out my latest posing video with Throne Room Boba, and he pulls G.I. Joe's head off. Sorry about that. It was very violent. That one's you have to be over 18 to watch that video. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with all of us in this time of need.